You know the moment you said you'd have it done and you didn't. You said this year you would be different and it wasn't. You looked in the mirror this morning and something in you just deflated. Not because of what someone else said, because of what you told yourself again in the same flat voice you've heard 1,000 times over. You'd forgive a mate for this in about 10 seconds flat. You can't seem to forgive yourself for it in 10 years, can you? You know that drill. I bet you know that drill. Well, I bet you're good at it. That's disappointment, not in your partner, not in your kids, not in your boss, but in you. And that's one of the loneliest versions of this feeling there is, because there's no one to talk it out with. You can't exactly vent to your mates about how let down you feel by yourself. Now, occasionally, I'm sure if you are working with them and you do something wrong and you crack it, they know what you're doing, because guess what? They probably also do it to themselves. Here's what I notice in the room 30 years of sitting with men. Most blokes are pretty generous judges of everyone else around them. Give a mate the benefit of the doubt, even without thinking twice about it. But turn the same scenario onto themselves and it's a different story. Guess what? Oh, the standards changed completely. No slack, no benefit of the doubt, just a very short list of acceptable outcomes, and everything else gets filed under failure. I'm disappointed with myself yet again. God, I'm, the story. I don't need to just keep embellishing it. You know it. Where does that come from? Usually not from nowhere. Usually from somewhere a long way back. Perhaps a father who was hard to please, or a mother hard to please. Or as a culture that taught you that your worth was tied to what you produce, not who you were. Somewhere along the way, that voice inside us, that voice that was supposed to hold you accountable, started doing something else entirely. It started keeping score. And yeah, did we score well? No, invariably we don't. And disappointment in yourself isn't really about the missed deadline, or the short fuse with your kids, or the goal that you didn't hit this year. Those are just the trigger. What it's actually doing is confirming something you've already believed about yourself before any of that happened. That's why it cuts so deep, and why it doesn't just go away because you eventually get the thing done. The next thing becomes the next new evidence. I've done it again. Now here's the part that surprises most men when I say it out aloud. The harshness isn't proof you have high standards. It's not discipline. It's just an old voice that never learned any other setting but to give us a hard time, really, because that's what it's doing. So here's one thing this week that I want you to have a crack at. It's not 5 steps, just one thing. Next time you catch that voice running, the one that's already decided you've failed, before you've even finished feeling the disappointment properly, ask it one question. What would I say to someone I actually cared about? Not as a trick to make the feeling go away, just as a way of noticing how much harsher the sentence is when you're the one on trial. And how often have you put yourself on trial? If this is the voice that's been running for years, not weeks, then generally that's worth taking it into a room with someone, a psychologist, a coach, someone like me. Not just something to carry alone after you've watched this video, because mate, you've been carrying it for years. You know, you're allowed to miss the mark and still be worth something. Those two things were never supposed to cancel each other out. Not at all. Be gentle.